Hey, how's it going guys? Tech Notice here, and I want to give you guys my 1 week review of the iPhone 10. Now, if you guys haven't seen my video, I did camp in line for this specific iPhone. I did have one on pre-order that came on the 3rd, however, my friends wanted to pick the one up, so camped in line 1 day ahead with them, and we got to be 10th in line, which is really awesome. It was my first time actually camping for the iPhone 10, or actually any iPhone for that matter. But here, I'm going to give you guys my 1 week so far of how well it stood up. So the iPhone 10 right here, we're going to start off by talking about the display. So display, of course, is very beautiful. You got your 5.8-inch Super Retina display right here. So in terms of their display resolution, Apple is deciding to call it Super Retina in this case. Now we of course have edge to edge finally, except for this little 2% top notch. As some of us might like it, some others might not. That's very debatable, but I actually personally like it, and I actually forget about having the notch up there at all. I see it as an extension of two portions right up there. Instead of Apple just cutting out the line and having the whole top bar, I actually appreciate Apple giving us the full detail. It's sad to say, but Apple's actually playing catch up, to be honest. The display actually came out very nice in this point after a few years of other devices coming out with such beautiful displays. Finally, we have it, and it's so much better than the iPhone 8 and below. If you guys haven't seen my other video on the iPhone 8 versus the iPhone 10 over here, do check it out. I do have quite a bit of comparisons between the two displays, and it'll be going into depth about the blue shift issue and quite a bit of other things as well. Do check it out if you guys haven't. So for the design, we do have two pieces of glass. We have one for the back and one for the front. Right now, the glass is covered by a Pitaka Emerald case, which is very nice. You guys should check it out on Pitaka.com. I did review this in another video, so if you guys have missed it, do check it out. For the front, we have the glass back, and for the bezels, we do have the stainless steel and aluminum. So stainless steel is going to come with the iPhone 10 white, and this one is going to come with an aluminum bezel for the iPhone black. And honestly, it looks very nice. The shading of this one right here for the space gray does look a little bit different than the previous space grays that they have come out with other iPhones. And I think Apple's just switching it up, still calling it the same space gray. Nevertheless, still very beautiful indeed. I personally do like the space gray much more than the white version. The white version looks a little bit dimmed down for some odd reason. They should have brightened it up just a little bit more, to be honest. But moving on, we're going to talk about the speakers. So up here, right at the notch, we do have one speaker, and right at the bottom, we have another one to the left side over here. I honestly haven't used any other device that has this loud of a speaker. Of course, I know the iPhone 7, iPhone 8 does have the stereo speaker as well, but this one is just boosted up by just dramatically where I can actually hear it even when I'm at a distance away. So very nice indeed, because this is the flagship device of this year. It's running the A11 Bionic chip, the fastest chip on any smartphone right now. But the problem is it still has a lot of bugs going on with iOS 11. Although it's running really nice, some apps are not completely optimized for it. So I do have a couple apps here just to demo for you guys. So let's just say 2048 right here. You guys can see the top bar and the bottom, showing pretty much that the developer hasn't updated for the iPhone 10 just yet. In this video, if I mention the iPhone X, just bear with me guys. It's just imprinted in my head, and I've been calling it the iPhone X. I'm really trying to call it the iPhone 10 at this point, but as Apple made us do it. So some of you guys have probably heard of some of the many bugs and issues going on with the iPhone 10. The first one, of course, is going to be the blue shift. You guys have seen the blue shift before, whereas if you turn the device a certain way, the display would turn completely blue, and this is a thing that happens to every OLED panel. So it's not specific to the iPhone 10, but it does happen, and it's very apparent when you do shift the device in direct sunlight to another viewing angle. Some devices are actually having a green portion right here, the side, the bezel of the device, having a long strip of pixels going dead, or whatever it may be. But of course, warranty is going to kick in, and you guys can actually go in and replace your device. But it just sucks that some users are actually having the issue going on with the device. So after using so many iPhones, coming all the way from the iPhone 2G all the way to the iPhone 10 right now, I'm so used to the headphone jack, and actually my car does have Bluetooth. However, the headphone or the aux cable is just so much better, to be honest, and it just makes me miss it quite a bit. Whereas the iPhone 10, 8, and below, of course, is not going to come with it. The last device that actually had with it was the iPhone 6s, and now we're going to have to use this little dongle right here that I've been carrying around, and I've honestly lost probably like at least 10 of these already. So what you have to do is just plug right into here and plug your other aux cable right into the bottom portion here, and you get the music playing, although it doesn't have the same quality as I have seen with my iPhone 6s and below. And the thing is, once you have this plugged in, you can't be charging your device. So sometimes my battery is running out and I want to listen to music at the same time while plugging in. I can't do that. I have to connect it to Bluetooth. And imagine how many devices or how many cars on the road that doesn't have Bluetooth or doesn't have any of the things that are compatible with the iPhone so far. I really hope that Apple is switching over to USB Type-C. Doesn't seem like they are, or doesn't seem like they're willing to, just because of all the commission or all of the proprietary dongles that they are making money off of. Very sad indeed. Every other device is actually switching over to USB Type-C right now, and I have quite a bit of accessories that is compatible with it. The brand new MacBook uses USB Type-C for everything, and right now the phone isn't even compatible with the MacBook or the brand new Touch Bar MacBook, which is quite ridiculous, guys. We have to raise something up to Apple because I use the MacBook quite often and I can't even get this to work with it. So I actually have to downgrade my device or get a separate device, a separate MacBook Pro from 2014 and below to actually get it to work with this device. So very sad indeed. Now, of course, adapting to the new gestures that come with the iPhone 10 is another learning curve. I've been having quite a bit of mistakes. However, after 1 week of using it, I'm not missing the home button at all. So remember, you guys actually had to press the home button to get back to the home screen or do anything else. Now it's just a swipe up, which is very simple. So it's just swipe up. Whereas this one right here, you actually have to close it, click it, and sometimes it might not even work. But yeah, I think it's really nice that Apple's coming out with gestures for everything. And if you guys did want to have a home button, there is an accessibility feature to place a home button right at the bottom here, a virtual home button if some of you guys are requesting it. A bunch of the features that I am having trouble with right now, and I actually managed to find a way to get past it, is multitasking. So if you guys swipe up, it actually takes a few seconds before multitasking actually appears. So if you guys want to get out of that, or you guys want to make it a little bit quicker, swipe up and swipe to the side right away, and you guys can swipe way between your apps. Very nice for some of you guys that don't already know of this features. Control center, we all know, is right up top here now. However, it's still very difficult to reach. So before it was just a swipe down and pull up. Now I actually have to lift my hand, use two hands to pull down. Not a really big issue. However, it's still a little bit more getting used to before I actually get to use everything. So notification, swipe down from anywhere from the top bar or over to the right side. So yeah, the gesture wise, as I said, everything is a learning curve, and I'm sure in another few years we won't even have to think about the home button anymore. So that's gonna be a product of the past. So next one is gonna be Face ID. You guys already know about this, so you guys can go into settings and register your Face ID, which is very nice. However, the problem is you only have one Face ID. Not a real problem because it's a personal device, but I think that they should have given us another option for our partners or our kids. So it would be nice if there was multiple user access, like maybe on a MacBook or on a desktop computer, where whoever's face recognizes, it will actually build their own custom home screen, their own custom account. Would be very beautiful there. They haven't really implemented in any operating system for iOS at all. For Face ID, here's another thing, guys. Face ID hasn't been working as well for me as Touch ID has. So as you guys said, that Face ID, some of you guys might argue that Face ID works better than Touch ID. Well, I made a specific video on that, and it actually proves that Face ID works in more cases than Touch ID. However, those few times that it doesn't work, that's where Touch ID would work. So it would have been really nice if Apple actually implemented another Touch ID either at the back or somewhere on the display, where I think the back would be really nice because of the Apple logo. The Apple logo can actually be a fingerprint scanner, or in the next upcoming device, probably maybe on the screen. But for now, Face ID just isn't enough. So as you guys can see here, if I turn off the device, turn it back on, the scanners are picking up right now, but it wouldn't pick up anything because the camera is right in front of it. This wouldn't be the case for Touch ID at all. So some of you guys might argue that why the heck am I having a camera right in front of my face? Of course it won't pick up. Well guys, in this case, Touch ID would. So I can just tap it right here. I can tap it in my pockets. I can tap it at any instance. So I actually compared it with Touch ID multiple times, and I feel like Touch ID is so much more consistent. Face ID actually failed me a couple times with Apple Pay, so it was pretty embarrassing where I lifted up my phone, tried to scan my face, it couldn't pick it up, and I couldn't even use Face ID for Apple Pay. So very embarrassing when you're in front of a retailer getting ready to pay. So you guys can see we have a microphone down there behind the camera system, and we have a microphone right here, and I feel like we have another noise cancelling microphone somewhere on the device, maybe inside the stereo speaker right here. But nevertheless, we have a microphone that isn't loud enough. So if you compare it to any Android device, specifically the Samsung devices, and you're recording a video, it's just not loud enough at all. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe Apple can boost it up. but it sounds so much more natural. It sounds like the microphone is right in front of me when I'm using a Samsung S8 or a Note 8. But when the iPhone 10 or actually any previous iPhone is in front of me, it sounds so muted. It sounds so small. So maybe it's just a bug with iOS 11 so far, but Apple has to really fix this because I feel like the microphone is just not up to its full potential right now. But overall, guys, I think the device is very beautiful, works very nice, and honestly, I think this is one of the best devices that Apple has made. It was very debatable with the iPhone 5 previously. The 5 was just so beautiful that I don't think any device was actually better than the iPhone 5. But now this device, wow, it's amazing. I think their next device, if they can somehow get rid of this notch, that would have been the perfect device. But for now, guys, if you guys can look past the $1,000 price point for the base model, I think this is probably one of the best smartphones on the market right now. So yeah, again, guys, this is my review, my 1 week review of the iPhone 10. If you guys enjoyed it, do hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike button. But anyways, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notification, that bell button if you guys haven't. This is it for this video, guys. Hope you guys liked it. Peace out.